Welcome to part 4 of that Wuha monster that just won't go away. With that, we're just going to jump right into it this time. I've got a couple things to show you. Kind of watch and check out the signals here, because from what one guy says, then the president, and talking about taking over things and running things, we're not there yet, but I don't think martial law is very far off if this thing goes the way it's going.
The state and the federal government have the power to change the trajectory of this epidemic. You mentioned Italy and Spain. They had a very, very hard time, and they're still having a hard time, but they seem to have reached their peak.
President Trump had a stark warning that the next 2 weeks will be the worst yet.
Took care of the hospital, including personnel, the 2,500 beds that we built just recently at Javits, including personnel. And we opened it up to COVID. And that's something that we also did in Louisiana, and we're doing it in Dallas. So we have a lot of not only hospitals being built, but now we're manning the hospitals because states are, in many cases, unable to get additional people to work. It's just an incredible situation. It's never been anything like this. And we'll continue to do it as it really gets. This will be probably the toughest week between this week and next week. And there'll be a lot of death, unfortunately, but a lot less death than if this wasn't done, but there will be death. We're looking for an obvious focus in the hardest hit regions. Some of them are obvious and some aren't so obvious. They spring up, they come, and they hit you like you got hit by a club.
The Queen.
I'm speaking to you at what I know is an increasingly challenging time. A time of disruption in the life of our country. A disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to many, and enormous changes to the daily lives of us all. I want to thank everyone on the NHS frontline, as well as care workers and those carrying out essential roles, who selflessly continue their day-to-day duties outside the home in support of us all. I'm sure the nation will join me in assuring you that what you do is appreciated, and every hour of your hard work brings us closer to a return to more normal times. I also want to thank those of you who are staying at home, thereby helping to protect the vulnerable and sparing many families the pain already felt by those who have lost loved ones. Together we are tackling this disease, and I want to reassure you that if we remain united and resolute, then we will overcome it. I hope in the years to come, everyone will be able to take pride in how they responded to this challenge. And those who come after us will say the Britons of this generation were as strong as any, that the attributes of self-discipline, of quiet, good-humoured resolve, and of fellow feeling still characterize this country. The pride in who we are is not a part of our past. It defines our present and our future. The moments when the United Kingdom has come together to applaud its care and essential workers will be remembered as an expression of our national spirit, and its symbol will be the rainbows drawn by children. Across the Commonwealth and around the world, we have seen heartwarming stories of people coming together to help others, be it through delivering food parcels and medicines, checking on neighbours, or converting businesses to help the relief effort. And though self-isolating may at times be hard, many people of all faiths and of none are discovering that it presents an opportunity to slow down, pause and reflect in prayer or meditation. It reminds me of the very first broadcast I made in 1940, helped by my sister. We as children spoke from here at Windsor to children who had been evacuated from their homes and sent away for their own safety. Today, once again, many will feel a painful sense of separation from their loved ones. But now as then, we know deep down that it is the right thing to do. While we have faced challenges before, this one is different. This time we join with all nations across the globe in a common endeavor, using the great advances of science
and out of respect,
and our instinctive compassion to heal.
Excuse me, Miss Queen. 1 minute. 1 minute. No disrespect. No disrespect. I meant to say respectfully to the Queen, because she is the Queen. So she's been doing it a long time. That's why I'm going to let the rest of the video run without no interruptions. But I did want to say something that she talks about us being united and being together as one and stuff. And I implore you in the United States to remember that it's not the left and the right, the Democrats, the Republicans, the Independents. No matter what color you are, black, white, pink, orange, brown, rainbow, whatever the hell you are out there. We are all one, and we are equal. That's part of what has gotten off the track, at least in the United States, and I feel like in other countries, is some people that were made special got all these rights with no responsibilities and no regulations and to do whatever. And the same thing with the left and the right side of the government could want and do and push and take away our God-given rights and our constitutional rights. We, as Americans anyway, and I urge you in your own countries to do so, to make a firm stand that we have a constitution, we have rights that are given under God. We will not sacrifice them, we will not give in, and we will not abandon what those rights are for each and one of us. And besides the ones that are the freedom to carry and to use responsibly, is the right to have free speech, the right to do. And one more time, we are equal. After this moment forward, I want everybody to think, neither the left or the right, or no matter what sexuality, what color you are, we are equal. Anybody wants any more from now on? No. They shouldn't have no less, though, either. We should all be equal. If you make this amount of money or this amount of money, we are equal. We are brothers and sisters underneath the Lord's vision, underneath the way we should have been doing a long time. But somehow, programming has got us to where we hate each other and we fight and call names. And some of us were lifted and thought we had privileges we shouldn't have never got. Again, equal. And I want to stress that. Now, if we're all starting on this equal platform, there's not going to be no fighting over who gets more or who gets what or whatever happens, because we're equal. That's what I would like to see going forward. Also, what I'd like to see is what the Queen had mentioned, us being united and whatever. Is there something going on? We keep talking about it on this channel. You hear it on other channels. And you feel it in your bones, in your body, and in your brain. Something's not right. What is going on? It's not just this Wuhan monster that's out there invading like Godzilla, tearing up the town and killing people. There's something else afoot. Whether it be Agenda 21, as I've said many times, one world government, could be. In a little sneak peek at this, before it happened, Event 201, by yours truly, Mr. Evil, Bill Gates. And don't kid yourself. Some of those elites, along with the, oh, this will probably get me pulled, Illuminatis, Masons, a lot of these people think they control the world and they control us, keep us in invisible chains. They want this to go on. They want you back out there doing and being and making them money to spend. The reverse of that is right now they want you to stay home. Because I think, honestly, the monster's out of the box and they can't control it. Like one of those movies where The Stand, let's just take it from The Stand, got out, couldn't control it. Now they're worried. That's why a lot of them are hiding. That's why a lot of them are in their little safe spaces locked down. Worried that this might be the one for them too. Again, equal. I urge one more time for us all to be equal. And one more time on being equal and us all being as one, as the Queen said. When we do find out if we can pin this down to one country, and this was an act of war, and I hesitate to even say if, because on this channel, everything I'm seeing points towards China releasing a bioweapon intentionally to cause an act of war. And it's going to play out, guys. You can make your decisions whether you believe that scenario or whether reading the tea leaves as we go on, it proves those kind of things. But when it does, I urge all countries and all people to put the hammer down on the guilty party. They must be made to pay. They must be accountable. And they must, more importantly, not get away with this. We have lost, no matter where you're at in the world, no matter what your status is, we have lost so much in so little of time. The only other thing I can think of that steals from you like this is nuclear weapons, guys. Literally. And then it leaves a bad aftertaste. That's where we're at. We got the bad aftertaste. And it keeps on going. So with that, we're going to go back to the Queen. And that'll be the end of this part of the video. But I'm going to let her speak uninterrupted out of respect for the Queen. Whether you guys like her, don't like her, and etc., etc. One thing you can say, she's been around a long time, good or bad. Believe me, I've researched it all. We could go in and nitpick, and I could tell you things. But right now, respect.
We will succeed, and that success will belong to every one of us. We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. But for now, I send my thanks and warmest good wishes to you all.
And there it is. So in closing thoughts to this video, I think I've spoken quite a bit in the in-between, the Queen finishing her speech and stuff. She has not spoken a whole lot in years. If you go back, I guess she does what she does, whether you approve or not. And I'd rather not comment on that during this video. Maybe later in another video we could discuss. For now, I bid you goodwill, and thank you for tuning in to Healthcare Sucks, Part 4. We are working on a Part 5. And God bless you and your family. May every meal you have be blessed by God. May you, my watchers, my family, my friends, and friends of my family and friends of my watchers, and you, Team 99, stay strong. And, oh Heavenly Father, may you give them the armor, the shield, and the weapons if need be, so we may conquer evil and survive together under one world, under God. Amen. And good night. And healthcare sucks.